problem solving. We have to do it all the time, but sometimes in a math or science classroom, we get stuck starting when confronted with the word problem. Solving a physics problem is just as much as interpreting the situation as it is performing the science. To help facilitate problem solving, we will use the guess method to set ourselves up for success. The guess method can be applied to all physics problems we want to solve in this class. Sometimes we will include additional components such as a picture, diagram, or specific organizational chart. But before trying out the method on a problem, let's run through the steps. First, we want to read the problem statement in its entirety. On the second read-through, we will underline any given information. Given information includes variables, numbers, and constants referenced in the question. They also include initial and final states of the system. For example, if an object starts or ends at rest. Any constants we will look up in the reference table. Finally, we will take this given information and write it under the G in our table. All numerical values must be written with units. If our given information can be represented with a diagram, we will make that diagram here. Second, we need to identify our unknowns. Unknowns are usually explicitly asked for by name, but sometimes we have a question about what will happen and we need to decide the quantity we need to calculate. We will write down the variable of our unknown under the U in our table. Now at this point, we need to think about some physics. Based on our givens and unknowns, we need a physical law and corresponding physical equation. We'll scan the physics reference table to find our candidate equations and write them under the E in our table. Next, we're ready to substitute. Take your givens and place them into the appropriate equation. Include the units for every numerical value. Finally, we will solve. Use your math skills to solve for your unknown variable. We will complete the dimensional analysis to verify the units of your answer. Box your answer with pride and celebrate with a piece of candy. So let's see this in practice. Here's our question inspired by a math problem. Mr. Stampone buys a 10-foot ladder. How far does he have to place the bottom of the ladder from the edge of the wall so the ladder is 8 feet above the floor? So we're looking to use the guess method. So first, givens. Let's call the length of 10 feet C and the length of 8 feet B. We definitely want to draw a picture of this situation. So we end up with a triangle with our lengths labeled. Next, unknowns. Here we'll label the remaining side of the triangle A. Now, maybe at this point you can see where we're going, and the relevant formula we need is Pythagorean theorem. We'll write down a squared plus b squared equals c squared under E for our equation. Now, it's time to substitute. So, a squared equals 8 feet squared plus, a plus 8 feet squared equals 10 feet squared. And finally, we're going to solve. Carefully square the number and its units. So we have a squared plus 64 feet squared equals 100 feet squared. We'll move the 64 feet squared to to the other side. We get a squared equals 36 feet squared. Then we'll take the square root of both sides. We find that a equals, well, the square root of 36 is 6. Square root of feet squared is feet. And we find that a equals 6 feet. The guess method makes sure you capture all relevant information, find the pertinent equation, and successfully solve for the desired result. You will be expected to use the guess method to solve all problems. It will guarantee full credit on long answer responses that require calculation. As always, thanks for watching.